Yo, what up, Steeler Nation? It's episode 4 and our second video podcast. Still working out the kinks like we talked about. And this week, I think we're starting with, what topic are we going to start? We have a few. We were talking about plays in Steelers history. We're talking about free agents of Steelers past. I guess you could call them ghosts of Steelers past, if you will. And just other things like we always do. But anyhow, how was your guys' day? Let's start with that. Steven, how was your day?
It was fine. It was a typical work day, but I was pretty excited to join up with you guys on 4/12 day, which happy Pittsburgh Day to you guys in Pittsburgh.
That's right. It is
Yes,
4-1-2.
I am pretty disappointed living in Alaska right now because it's 70 degrees almost everywhere else and sunny. Here it's been snowing still.
What'd you see? You made a post, or you texted us the other day. It made me chuckle quite a little bit, and I'll be honest, I've used it like 100 times.
I can't remember.
About
What did
something
it say?
being canceled.
Oh, yeah, is summer canceled already?
Did someone call and say summer was canceled?
Yeah, I
I've
don't
used
know,
that
it's
at work
something.
100 times already.
I don't know. It's been rough, but
Wait, is this not summer? I'm not used to it here.
This
'cause
isn't
this is
normal.
not normal.
Doug and I are in shorts. It was like 40 degrees. That's
we're-
isn't that
we're
Alaska
used to the
summer?
temperature, but right now we should already be outside on the grass
I don't know about on the grass.
drinking.
No.
I mean, it's like cold drinking, but there's not like snow coming. It's already melting at this point usually.
Yeah.
This time last year, it was all gone.
There's about 5 to 6 feet of snow still in places.
Yeah.
Where typically we're looking at about like 1 foot, and then there's grass patches throughout.
It's just so usually when the breakup starts, it's like a big thing for us. Breakup starting, everybody's car is dirty, but no one cares because
That means it's going.
country music,
I care.
drinking
We're getting
beer,
there.
and camping is right there. And then this weekend we had like a blizzard.
Another 8
Blizzard
inches of
warning.
snow.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, even
not-
this morning, it was like an ice storm whiteout.
Oh, this
Yeah, it was
morning
terrible.
I was sitting at work and I'm looking at the window and it looked like Christmas time.
Yep.
I couldn't see more than 10 feet. And I said, what is happening?
It's January 104th.
Yeah.
I did like that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
What about your day? What'd you do?
I did a whole lot of nothing. I apologize to everybody at work because I wished for a lot of snow when I got here. Being stationed at Qatar where it was 130, I was done with the heat.
Everyone makes a mistake.
Yeah, so I said, give me snow. I didn't mean
This much.
through April. I was kind of hoping to get the back porch set up, grill out a little more already.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I was just looking forward to this. But somebody's day was more eventful.
I don't think
Than
it
the
was-
rest of
I don't
us.
think it was eventful. I was
Yeah,
pretty
maybe painful.
upset. I
Yeah,
texted
painful.
everyone. So I had to do this thing up at work on base, and Caitlin was bringing me lunch because I'm on this stupid keto diet right now. So she was bringing me this hamburger meat lunch, and I mean it. Like it's just hamburger meat, and I had an idea to mix it with tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Because when you're on
Okay.
keto, you think of like weird things like, oh, wow, that's exciting, 0 carbs. I could eat that. And I was like, I like tartar sauce on fish. That could be good on hamburger meat. It wasn't.
No.
I ate it, but anyhow, she's bringing it to me. And then so I go to get out of my truck to grab it. And because she brings me stuff a lot because I live like 20 minutes from the house. So she brings it to me, and I put my left foot down getting out of the driver's seat, and it's snowing, like Jeremy said, excessively. And my foot just went. And I didn't even have time to grab the door. You know the old door fall?
Oh, yeah.
Where
You're
you grab
holding
the
on
door
to it,
and you're like, oh.
sliding around.
You know, and you're like, all right, I got it. I didn't even have time. I remember looking at the doors. I'm going away. Like it's there. And it's the hardest fall I've had in 4 years since I've been here.
Damn.
And this was all in front of your wife?
Oh, yeah. Kids, wife.
Oh, no.
You don't know the
everybody.
most embarrassing thing when daddy's your hero and you just watch him eat shit.
Daddy's dead.
Like the old lady at 7-Eleven. You're probably like, oh, look at that crackhead.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
but-
was
my
daddy.
God.
I'm in uniform. My foot hits. First thing it hits is my hip. Bam. Those are already on shaky grounds. I hit, then my elbow, and then my head. And you know how, like, I don't know, I'm getting older. Like, when you fall now, like back in the day, you'd fall and you bounce right back up. You're like, I'm good.
Oh no!
You know how now whenever you fall, you
Got
got
to
to
roll over.
I did roll over. You
Yeah,
got to
you gotta-
roll over. You got to collect your
You gotta
thoughts
take
for a
accountability.
minute. Like you got to accept.
Yeah.
Got to breathe in a little bit.
But so, and that's just the process. You're like, you got to do that. But I'm in the middle of public. I do that in my driveway. Is usually where I fall. I do that in my driveway or other places at my work parking lot. I'll do it there. But I'm in the middle of the big parking lot at the People Center.
Oh no! You didn't tell me it was
Right.
there.
Yeah, dude, bub, right in the middle of it. And it didn't even look, it wasn't icy. It was just all the snow. I fall. And so I start to do my alligator death roll, like you're turning over. I got my wife and kids watching me, you know,
Oh, no.
like I feel like I'm the center of their world and they're just watching me on the ground. I turn over,
Did
I
they
go,
laugh?
my wife claims that she didn't laugh. She said she started to, because she always laughs when I hurt myself.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's mean. Yeah.
Depends
So
on how bad you hurt yourself.
my
I
hip
guess.
still hurts. It was. I rocked myself, and I remember and then I go, no, I can't. And there's other. It's not just them. There could be other people watching. It's a big parking lot.
Yeah, it's a
So
huge parking lot.
I didn't get to go through the motions of pain. I did pop up like I was a young lad again, and then I walked over to the window. She goes, "Are you okay?" You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if your mom says, "Are you okay?" You're like, "No," but it's your wife. You're supposed to be the man to her, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Hurt, but I'm fine." And she had to yell at the kids to stop laughing. She told me that. Yeah, they're heroes.
Oh,
Just
you
sitting
made
out there,
their
look
day.
at, look at
You
that.
made
Yeah,
their
but
day.
anyhow, that's just the life of Alaska. You never know. I don't know how old people live here.
Yeah, for real.
They
You know
don't.
what I
They
mean?
leave. They go to Arizona.
Do they really?
Yeah.
How old are
Typically.
your
I don't know, man.
parents?
My parents?
Yeah.
They're just turned 60. Oh, my mom's about to turn 60. My dad's 61.
Are you ever
60.
scared? I'm scared of my dad coming up here in the winter because I'm like, you're too old. You're going to fall and kill yourself or break a hip, something.
My dad's already broken.
You're not scared? You never think of that? Like, what if like it snows
No,
outside
they-
and you're looking out the window and you're like, what if my parents fall today?
It hasn't crossed my mind. I think
It will now.
Now I'm gonna be paranoid every day.
I'm sorry.
but
I mean, I'm scared.
No,
for
they'll be all
Steven
right.
after watching this last flag football season.
yeah, the past couple of months have been rough with my neck,
Every Sunday, something else
neck,
is.
back,
Yeah.
arm, leg.
You think you're young
It's
and
football
you're
life.
not.
Yeah, he
I
might
know,
be.
I
He
just
might be
turned
going
30.
to Arizona next
Yeah,
year.
I know.
I'll be like, hey, mom, dad, you guys got to come down here. It's really nice. Oh man,
Dude, no, I think about old people. I don't know how. I fell and I'm 32. What if you're 64? You're not getting it. Or maybe I'm just that much of a little
No,
whatever.
I just
You
think
know what I
you're-
mean?
Yeah, you're done. Down for the count.
I think about this, but anyhow, Jeremy, how was your day?
My day was good. Shortly after I found that out, I found me a meme that made me laugh that I got to send to you. And it brightened my day, so it was good.
I put it in the group chat because I'm a good person. I said I just fell.
yeah. When we
they-
say again,
Yeah,
'Cause
but
he's-
you didn't
he's fallen
understand.
multiple times.
This year, dude, last year I didn't. I fell one time, and I was
Still.
like, I think you pride yourself here about how many times you fall in the winter. Have you fallen this year?
I don't. No, not hard, not like that.
Have
I think
you?
I've caught
Yeah,
myself.
I've improved.
I caught myself.
Last year, and Emily can attest to this. I fell. I got a rude introduction to Alaska winters. I fell 7 or 8 times, hard,
Right.
hard,
Right.
like just straight to the ground, fast. This year, solid improvement.
I love how we pride
Nice.
ourselves on that.
Yeah.
How many times you've fallen? Have you fallen since you've been here?
Twice. Once at work, went right underneath the
Jeez.
work truck.
Yeah, I've done
Oh.
that.
I literally
I've gone under the car before.
like stepped out, hit the thing. Just I was even thinking about it. Like it's probably gonna be icy. Sure enough, right under. Second time, you witnessed. It was when we were getting
Oh, yeah.
we we're going to flag football.
I laughed at you.
I come out of my garage. I'm excited
No
for
shame.
football, and I hit that patch, and I went halfway down my driveway,
Yeah.
and I popped right back up out of pride because Steven saw me fall.
right.
So I had to jump up real
It's
quick.
like welcome to Alaska.
You didn't get
And
to go
that
through
hurt.
the motions. You didn't get to go through the motions because he was watching you ruin his
Yeah.
fall.
I did once I got in the
Ruined
car.
it.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Right,
He was,
but
he was a
there's-
little slow playing
yeah,
football that
Right.
night.
it was. Yeah, that hurt.
I bet
right. Well,
it is painful.
Anyhow, our days and
That's Alaska.
that's everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks in Alaska the harsh winter is like, oh, it's cold and firewood. No,
Yeah,
it's,
whatever.
how many times have you fallen?
Yeah.
It's tough out there. Not bears or moose.
Yeah,
How many times have you fallen? But
Can you just make it to your truck?
Right. So one thing I wanted to bring up, DJ mentioned it. Did you want to go offense and defensive plays, or just the play that sticks in your mind more than anything? I think it might be better one.
Let's do the most memorable play you have witnessed. Not like a replay, because obviously we know which one wins on that one. But immaculate reception, that one wins. It's like history.
None of us were alive.
No, that's what I'm saying. One that you've witnessed.
Oh, okay. One that you've witnessed. That's good. I like the witnessed one.
Yep.
And just go off.
Jeremy, what's the most memorable Steelers play that you've seen?
I mean,
I already know what it
seen
is.
a bunch.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I know what it is.
I think Cowboys won, but it was about 5 years ago. They were playing the Steelers,
Oh, that one hurt.
and Le'Veon Bell went out for a pass, and Roethlisberger threw him a dime in the right side of the end zone.
No.
What?
Do you know what play I'm
No.
talking about?
No.
I don't know what
Second
play you're
crisp.
talking
It
about.
was a good one.
I think his
It
favorite
was just
play.
like
Talking
right
about the-
there.
I thought, no.
Oh, what do you have?
That's not
That's
it.
one I remember
I
against
want to know.
Cowboys.
I feel
fake
like
spike.
I feel like he might.
He said fake spike.
Was it that game?
Oh no.
No, I was talking the same game. Doug, I was going to the same game he was talking about.
That was a good game.
When Ben does the fake spike, and literally only him and AB are the only ones on the field that know that it's a fake spike, and it was a touchdown. And I thought we were going to win that game.
We should have. Our defense sucked.
It was.
that
We almost won that
year.
game.
So bad.
San Antonio home sketch.
Not
Wait,
against
wait,
the
wait.
Cowboys? You're talking against the Cardinals in the Super Bowl, the cross legs. That was a great play.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a great Super Bowl.
It was.
So
Go Buckeyes.
on that, San Antonio Holmes.
Yeah.
Was I? Dang, we got a lot of good players from them. But I just read an article that Ben, I think it was on Ben's podcast, that said he at that moment he didn't realize we could just kick the field goal and forced overtime if need be. He didn't even think about that. So that pass,
Thank God.
that pass really didn't have to happen, but he made
Didn't
it
have to
happen.
It was the
but,
perfect play.
but for like this scenario, that Super Bowl, to your point, you could answer your question a couple times.
Yeah, I know.
Twice.
Yeah.
From that
That
Super
was
Bowl
my
was epic.
It
defensive
was one
play.
it still is like top 5. Super
I
Bowls.
can remember sitting there, my thought process through that interception. I remember once he got to like the 15, I remember thinking, because the clock was running
It
down.
was running down. Yeah.
I was screaming at the TV. I had a party going on, and I remember screaming at the TV, go out of bounds.
Yeah. Let's kick a field goal or
You're
something.
right. Let's get
It's
something
like, there's
out of
2
this.
seconds left.
It's like,
Step
there's
out,
no
step
way
out.
he's going to make it. And then he just rumbled and tumbled in there, and I was like, that works. That changed the game, that play.
Oh, yeah, that's
because it was the
the
last
reason we
play
won.
of the first half.
Yeah.
It was. So, but you're saying Santonio Holmes touchdown.
That's a
great
good-
pass, great catch.
Yeah,
Like on
It's
both
just
ends.
the whole
I
play
mean,
was
there's for me like what I really like about it is just the pictures that you see of it,
Yeah.
fully stretched out,
His
catching
legs
it.
crossed.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
just-
seen that
it's
before.
It's just
What an
it's
uncomfortable way to touch your toes.
It's ironic.
I just
Well,
don't. I
actually,
never understood why he crossed his legs. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? But
Well, sometimes you go up for that and you just
The way
gotta
they came
you gotta
down.
make a play the way you make a play. You really have no choice.
I like that though, because you know a lot of times it's like, oh, it was a great pass or it was a great catch. Like that one, the pass was a perfect spiral bullet to the only place he could have gotten to it, and then the catch
over
was
3 Cardinal
right,
players.
and the catch was no easy catch to him. It was like a fingertip catch, and it was
It was the perfect play.
scared
It
me.
really was.
I like that. DJ
He even took time too to throw the ball. It was like multiple reads.
right.
I would have to go with Palomalu interception of Joe Flacco to
Getting
take us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because
Six.
Kelly will remember we're in like sitting in my living room, and when that happened, I fell over my coffee table because like I was I'm sitting on the edge of the couch anyways, like thinking, please just we need something, because Joe Flacco just always had that tendency, to throw 80 yards down the field, get a pass interference, and then kick a field goal.
What?
That was like their go-to. Torrey Smith, run that way.
Yeah.
I'll throw it. But when Troy intercepts, I literally jumped up, clipped my coffee table, went down, and like I had to watch the replay because I was on the ground when he ran it into the end zone.
I hate that. When you have to watch a replay of a great play of your team because you didn't see it. Kids were yelling.
That was
I was yelling.
yeah. That stands out to me.
Steven.
Well, Jeremy's got my first pick.
Dang.
DJ's got my second pick.
Dang.
Yeah. So
No, which,
Juju laying
Hey,
out
we're
birthday
like similar.
pictures
Oh.
right there, baby.
Oh,
my God.
Nice.
dang, yep,
I love that moment.
right here.
That was
You know, and
that
he
was
wouldn't have got a
right here.
penalty
So
unless he
amazing.
walked over him.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad he stood over him. He deserved that one.
It was.
But
Yeah,
there's so many plays. It's hard because you guys stole like my top two, and I just had one, but
Oh, we still have it on record.
it was still yeah.
it's
Yep.
there.
Same game. No, it wasn't the same game. It was the playoff game versus the Bengals though. There's multiple from that game actually. It was almost the whole game because I remember it so vividly. It's when Ben going to the tunnel because he was hurt.
Yep.
I was like, well, there goes that game. Ben coming out of the tunnel
Yep.
to lead us down the field.
Yeah.
Shazier stripping the ball out. I mean, it was just Martavis Bryant's catch. It was, the whole game was just, it was meant. But you guys stole my top two.
Sorry,
So.
I keep hitting the microphone. Sorry.
You're good, Doug. What do you got?
I told DJ about it earlier. I remember the team. I think it was the Bucks.
Okay.
Cordell Stewart was still our starting quarterback.
Oh, this is further back.
back.
Yeah. Wow.
Cordell Stewart, and I think it was not Maddox's rookie year, but I want to say basically rookie year because when he came back into the league, and he was our touchdown Tommy. He was our
Tommy
second-string
Gunn.
and we all knew that he was good and everything. But Cordell Stewart, with Cordell Stewart, we went to the playoffs almost every year with him. He just would choke in the playoffs.
Yeah, like 4 interceptions.
Yeah, but we love Slash. And then I think I told you it was into the second half. I think it may have been the end of the third quarter. We were destroying the Bucks. It was like just blowout. And there was even an interview at the beginning of second half with Cordell Stewart and Tommy Maddox, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to go into the game?" And Tommy's like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, we're killing it. I don't know." And they put in Tommy, and he threw a pass to Hines Ward way too low. He caught it 2 hands, like by the turf, and it was like a post, and he took off, and the safeties were gone because a lot of teams didn't run safeties deep with us at all because we were such a running team. And he took off. You guys probably remember, and his shoe came off.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And he ran into the end zone a long ways, too, without a shoe.
Yeah.
He had one shoe on.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And he picked up a shoe after. And, that
Smiling
play.
in the end
He
zone.
was smiling, yeah. But, that played to me. I
That's
don't
a
know.
throwback.
It was a throwback. I figured you guys went all new school and everything. I figured I'd go with the throwback.
Right on.
I mean, I could have went with, Kenny throwing the game-winning touchdown against the Ravens.
Man,
And the Raiders.
and the Raiders. Oh,
The Raiders
those
one
two
wasn't
ones-
as good.
I mean, the one and not like rolling out to the left.
To
just-
Najee, do the touch on that, and you go to a running back
Yep.
in that situation. No one would have saw that coming. I didn't. I don't even know if Najee saw it coming.
Yeah.
He floated the
Until it was
touch, and he rolled out to his left.
Yep.
Yeah, while getting pressured. It was
Yeah,
it
and
was-
like that pass,
dime of a throw.
he threw off. I don't even know if I could say off of his back foot because he was rolling out to the wrong. So he threw against his body with a touch pass, and he caught that. That was a good one too. But dude, there's too many to mention. I was gonna say the pick from James Harrison.
yeah.
That one.
That's a good one.
Yep.
That one changed everything.
Yeah.
There was one really big play I think we've all forgotten about a little bit. Well, you'll remember right as soon as I mention it, but the shoe tackle.
We were talking about that
For you
earlier.
guys, yeah.
My take on
oh
it
my
wasn't
God.
as much as I wanted to throw up.
Well, yeah, but it's like
But even when Ben tackled him, I wasn't thinking at the time, what a great tackle by Ben Roethlisberger. I'm like,
we just lost the game.
they got the best kicker in the NFL with Vanderjack. I was like, that's it. And then we held him to a 3-and-out, essentially. And then I think it was like a 35.
Super easy kick. Yeah.
You know,
for
field
Cowboy
goal-
In a
fans, it's
dome.
hard.
And he didn't miss it. He shanked it.
Hard.
in a dome.
He shanked it
Yeah.
up to the left. And then
Rigged.
I remember the camera on Peyton Manning, and he said he missed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I
And he
remember
was at the time the most accurate kicker in
Yep.
NFL history.
Yeah, he was. That's what they talked
Like
about.
94%.
Killing
I
it,
think.
yeah.
They were talking about before he kicked it, the most accurate kicker. And I'm just sitting there, and I remember sitting in between my dad and my stepmom, freaking out. I was young. And then when that went up, I remember I like did the old Joe Rogan grab on their shirts. You know, I lost it. But I told him that game it shouldn't have never came to that because Palomalu's interception that got called back.
with his knee
He
kicking the
took
ball.
3 steps and then rolled.
We've
And
been
on his
robbed
way
of
up
some
from the roll, he
big
kneed out
plays.
the ball. And Joey Porter came out and he said if we would have lost, he got fined. He said if that game we would have lost, it would have been highway robbery because of the refs.
Yeah.
And I think he got fined, but good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
Greatest part of that is the guy that picked up the fumble prior to that game had gotten like stabbed by his girlfriend. Remember that headline?
No.
Nick Harper.
Yeah.
He got stabbed in the leg like the week prior. So he was questionable the entire week. So he's a corner that couldn't run full speed. And he is the one guy that picked that ball up. And he's
That's
the guy
funny.
that been tackled.
Huh.
Like, what's the chances?
You could have led that with something other than the greatest part about that.
It is the greatest part about that. Like, what else?
Shout out to his girlfriend.
Yay! Biggest Steelers fan ever.
Well, if I was
Oh,
a Colts
man.
fan, I would say it's the worst part, but I'm a Steelers fan, so that's the best part.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
No, dude, that game gave me anxiety. I can't think of any game that hasn't given me anxiety.
Yeah, they're
Have you guys
stressful.
got a medical bill from watching a Steelers game?
No, but they're gonna kill me.
No.
I think
Yeah.
they.
No, but my wife has told me before, like she goes, I think you need to slow down on sports.
Is it sports or
Because-
drinking?
Not the drink. Well, I do
I'm
need to
just
slow
kidding.
down on
I'm
drinking.
just giving you a hard
I
time.
do.
We drink during the games.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? Well,
Um,
most people do.
I usually I try to limit my drinking to just 1 or 2 times a week. But during the game, I don't even get to drink that much during the game because I'm so into the game.
Into
I
it,
can't. You know what I mean?
It's stressful. I'd have a hard time eating.
Yeah, for real.
I feel bad
At
about
halftime,
that.
then I'm like, okay, I think I can have some food
Because-
I'm so into it.
For
I'm
the
like,
audience, we usually, I think I mentioned this before, we usually go out of our way. Everybody makes so I think it started with Steven would always, the first time was, I don't think DJ was here yet.
No, I wasn't here till week 3.
Yeah, and you hit me up for the England game.
Hmm.
And you're like, you coming over at 5?
oh, you're talking. I thought you
I
meant
did.
New England, but yes,
I did.
the game in England because
Yeah,
Reynolds,
and-
my good friend, was coming over.
Yeah, I remember, and you sent that text out, and I was still up at like 3 a.m. I was like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be there. at
Yeah,
5
Well,
a.m.
see, the way I do it is I wake up, like, obviously we woke up early to watch the England game, and it's really early here when we watch football because it's the Alaskan time zone. It's
9 a.m.
9 a.m. is when
Yeah.
the normal games start compared to 1 p.m. So the England game is at,
It was
what
like
was it, 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
So I got to wake up before that because I want to make food. I also want to place my bets.
Yeah.
And I can't do that the night before because who knows? Maybe this player's not playing.
Right.
So it's like you got to wake up real early. Keep
yeah.
going. But anyways, Doug came over.
I remember you texted me and he said, are you coming over for the England game? And I was like, it's at like 5. And you're like, yeah, Reynolds coming over. We're going to make crepes.
Oh.
And
so
I was
good.
like, that was the first time I ever had one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What'd you think?
No, that was the next week.
And then I
Yeah.
was like,
I had to make them again.
yeah, they were so good. And then I was like, I showed up and I just remember I got to the door and he's like, hey, man. And I'm like, I think I was hungover.
Oh, dude, you were so hungover.
Yeah, I
I
was
felt
hung-
bad for you. Like
I was
like,
hungover,
why
but
did
I
you
was
come
like-
over?
Because I'm a sports guy, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm down to sit there and watch the game. Because I remember I brought over a beer and I was like, I'm going to drink this beer. And I was like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and you're like, yo. And I just remember like, do you have coffee? And Steven had the spread. He had coffee. He had the crepes. He had everything. And I'm like this hobo.
With a beer can.
I had a bag. I didn't even have a beer can. I had a
remember.
grocery sack. The plastic. I was like, I brought beer. And they all looked at me like this, like,
Who's this guy?
you brought over beer? It's 5 a.m. You sick person. And he's like, I got coffee. I got this. I got that. And I remember putting Nutella on a crepe. And I was like, this is home.
Yeah, I think I came over at like 11 that week.
Yeah, that was when I first met you, I
can't
think.
remember.
Yeah, it was one of my later appearances because I was up way late. We went 4-wheeling
Oh, really?
the day before, and then we got beers and stayed up late and just it was and then I
Sounds
got
like
your
a good
text
night.
saying, "Hey, we're gonna be up at 5 a.m. for the
You're like-
England game," and I was like,
Hell no, dude.
"I'm out."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I might not even catch the first one.
And then by the time the Steelers game rolled around, we were already ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
We were jacked up.
Yeah.
And but that was the food. But anyhow, on the food, so that started that, and then we started making. I know DJ Kelly and my wife, they were making casseroles. They were bringing over casseroles, and then Caitlin made some sliders, and then it was
had
like we had a
big
table in
cookouts.
the back.
It just kept every week. It kept getting
Yeah.
more
And
food.
like it was
more
like
and
a
more food,
buffet
more
of food,
people.
and then I felt bad, but it wasn't just me. We're all standing there. No one's eating the food.
No.
All the girls are eating the food because we're so into the game. We're hungry. We want to eat the food, but we can't. And
The TV's in the front, the food's behind. You know, it's hard because the second you turn around,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it always
the
irritates
play
me
happens.
Yep.
because we've
Exactly.
had at least 10 people, 15 people in here,
Yeah.
and that's the pace zone.
Yeah.
It is.
And
yeah.
like people will be in the way. And you know what the biggest mistake I think we made is when we bring over the kids. Me and DJ. Me and DJ bring over the kids, and the wives are like, oh, they're just so adorable. They're kids. And then me and DJ are like, stop. Stop doing whatever. Like they're
we
distracted.
were undefeated with the kids, though.
Do you remember they started yelling?
Oh,
when
'cause we
would
were
yell?
yelling.
When we would yell, yeah.
And they don't even
You
know
were
why.
yelling at them?
Yeah, 'cause we were
but
yelling.
that made me more mad. I'd be like,
I know.
Lucas, you don't even know what you're yelling at. Stop yelling. They got
Yeah,
that.
but we were undefeated with the kids. That's why they had to keep coming over.
I like how they all have their towels.
Yep.
They all got their towels going and everything, so that's cool. But at the same time, I'm like, I like when they go over there because it's like, all right, it's time you leave. Let's go on. But no, the food is definitely a big part of it, and it's really fun. But
Back to medical bills.
Yeah, back to the medical part.
Yeah, that's kind of, we went down a big
No,
rabbit
it's fine.
hole.
no,
really
she
did.
just
It's
thinks
fine. No,
I
it
get-
is, though.
I think she thinks I just get too stressed out. Like she does this thing where she goes downstairs. Like when I'm at home watch before I started coming over here.
So that's a no on the medical bills.
I don't know if they're
So far.
they're probably related. They're related. Like you're like, we need to put you on blood pressure.
Oh,
pills
yeah.
right now because like, do you have like, are you upset with work? And I'm like, no. And they're like, how's your marriage? I'm like, it's perfect. And they're like,
Did you
Kids.
go in on a Monday?
love their like after a loss. And then they're like, how's the kids? Love my kids. And they're like, why are you so worked up? And I'm sitting there on my phone looking up stats. I'll watch a game and then look up the stats after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But medical bills, no. I don't even know how you tell a doctor that.
Well, I failed an Air Force blood pressure test because they gave me a little cuff thing, like monitored over these next couple days, and I was like, "Doc, it's football." He's like, "Oh, didn't believe me," so I kept one of those on during a game. I'm pretty sure it was a Ravens game, which is worse.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I went back and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, it's the Steelers. I can't help
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. Like after a loss, I go into the garage. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm working on the car. Misfire in cylinder 3. Like I'm just mad.
And some people don't understand it. Like people I work with, they're like, why do you get so angry or caught up? And they think it's just me. But I wish they would see this garage on a Sunday. Because
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, they will.
It's
We'll
all
post
of
some
us.
clips.
It is all.
It's going to be loud.
Yeah,
People are passionate about their
Yeah.
teams.
it's all of us.
I don't think it's
Hey,
healthy.
You guys you comment on YouTube
Yeah.
or Instagram. Tell us a story. If you got a story about a medical bill you've had to pay because of a football game,
I almost
Even
passed out
sports.
during
Any
the
sports. I want to hear about it. Throw a comment down.
Raiders
Yeah.
game. I jumped up, or I was jumping so freaking high up and down. I think I locked my knees. I almost passed out
Yeah.
when we threw that touchdown.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was
there's
a rough one.
I just
no medical
so-
bills for me. But what about you?
Yeah, so it was Cowboys Giants playoff game, and we were marching down the field to win. And Tony Romo.
Okay, hold on. Cowboys Giants playoff game. Which
2014.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, this was no,
Had to be a loss.
yeah.
Romo's had to be 14.
We're talking about medical bills. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways.
He throws a pick in the end zone, and we lose the game.
Yeah.
And I'm living in an apartment. I'm in college, so this is a good 15, 20 years ago. Yikes. But the apartment I live in has a solid wooden floor, and he throws that pick, and I just 100% all force right into that wooden floor, crack it. So the floor also lost,
Damn.
but my hand also broke, and it is still like bent to this day.
Oh wow.
It did not heal right, but yeah. So I got a medical
Thanks,
bill.
Romo.
Yeah, thanks.
You
Romo.
love Tony.
I do.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we could trade.
For Tony?
I wish we had
Tony
prime
now.
Tony with the team now.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be
That'd be
interesting.
fun to see.
Yeah.
do you think your coach was the reason Tony failed?
Say the clapper.
No.
Jason.
The clapper.
That wasn't him.
Yeah.
though.
Good job, team.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right, DJ.
No, I think it's collarbone. Honestly.
Yeah, that was
His
the
body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his back. Poor guy.
Yeah, that collarbone just gave out way too many times
Mm.
at the end. But yeah.
Poor guy.
What do you guys think about Odell being on the Ravens?
Oh, dude, take him. Take him.
I mean, yeah,
take him.
Who's gonna throw to him?
it's it's a questionable judgment call on his part. I think he wanted to. He came out and said that he wants to be with a team that's going to contend. Like, why not just say, Kansas City, pay me whatever you want, and then I'll
Yeah.
like do something like that. Why go to a team that doesn't even know truly if Lamar's gonna suit up week 1?
I think they did it just to get Lamar.
But I don't know if that's enough.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, it's not gonna change much.
Well, now he has that guy. He's like, oh, he's super iconic.
But then by like week 6, he's gonna be mad that Lamar's ran it 1,000 times and passed it twice to Mark Andrews.
You think he's gonna be healthy?
I don't know.
Odell? Like, do you think he's gonna recover well?
That's the other thing. How much did they guaranteed $15 million on the same ACL that went out? Like that. I don't know why you just don't handle the Lamar thing first.
Yeah, and we're talking about Ravens and knees.
Well,
Their mascot can't even make the season.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you can fault the Ravens. I mean, I think they have attempted to try to handle the Lamar situation first.
Lamar's being like,
What, we
They-
gave him the.
They've offered to make him the
Greedy.
highest guaranteed paid quarterback behind Deshaun Watson.
slash running back.
I think whenever he,
Exactly.
I think it upset him when they did, what was it, the non-exclusive franchise tag? Or what was it called?
Yeah.
The first time I had ever heard of it. I didn't know it was a thing until they offered it to him. Because, usually the franchise tag is, we have you if you don't accept the deal. We saw that with Le'Veon Bell, with
Yeah.
multiple other players. And whenever they did that to him,
I
it's
mean,
like,
at the end of the day, the Ravens are offering this guy the bank, and he is turning it down. 'cause
How many
he
years?
He wants the. I don't know the terms of the years that they're offering.
I don't
But
think they
know,
actually released.
I know. Yeah, I don't know if that's been released, but I know that it's been on record, and no one's denying it that they're offering serious money, and he wants to be paid
higher.
right.
Watson money, and they're not going to get it.
And that was the Browns messing the market up.
You think too? They really did.
They did.
They're punching the
inflated
air right
it.
now because they would have totally gone after Lamar this year.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
would've, and they could have gotten him for far less. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
That-
Watson's still a good quarterback. We'll see this year.
that contract is so crazy.
Shake off the rust.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I said good quarterback, not the best in the AFC.
Hey, I didn't say the best either. I said fifth best.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you mentioned tags. I read today
Oh man.
Saquon Barkley said he's not showing up.
Well, I kind of on that note, I have to
Because he
kind of go
got
back
tagged.
to what Jeremy said about running backs.
Yeah.
And I think it was episode 2.
With your
Yeah.
first rounders?
But he's not clean. He's had the
Yeah.
injury.
I would if I'm the Giants, I'd be fine with letting him walk.
Oh my God. Who's gonna fill his shoes? No one.
No.
Okay.
Talking about Barkley, he absolutely killed it last year. He
Let's-
killed it the year before he got hurt.
He
That
did.
seems a little hypocritical though with Le'Veon Bell.
He did, but he's been in the league 5 years now,
That's the same
4.
situation with Le'Veon Bell. It's 100% identical.
or 4?
I don't know.
This is
I really can't remember.
I think it's
He
5.
had a rookie
is-
year,
yeah,
and then the
this
second
is
year he
5.
did good. And then he got
Le'Veon
hurt,
Bell
right?
blew out his knee, right? He blew out his knee. He comes back, and he had that phenomenal year yet again. And then that's when the Steelers did the same kind of thing with the franchise tag, everything else. And everyone can say, like, oh, well, Le'Veon Bell fell off after that. He wasn't anything. I'm like, well, one, he missed a year, which is huge, especially for a running back. And then he went to the Jets, which was not
Yeah, it was stupid.
a good situation at all. So you kind of you go back and forth with, like,
He's had 2 seasons over 250 attempts.
right.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Right. So are they wrong? I don't know if they're wrong.
You got one season. He's definitely been out the whole season.
One
right?
season he was out. He did have 2019. So his rookie year, he came in, balled out like
Yep.
everyone knew that he would. His second year, that's when he got his first injury. He had 217 attempts, and then he got hurt at the end of that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was out all the next year, and then he got hurt again in 2021, and then this last year,
He's had 3 good years, 1 year out, and 1 bad year.
basically.
Or is this his 5th
he's
year?
had
So
1 complete year out, and he's played like 2 half years.
So you could call that same thing for Le'Veon. He had multiple injuries.
yeah, but weren't we all saying why the hell are we getting rid of
Yeah.
Le'Veon?
Well, we know
We
why,
won.
because
Yeah,
they
we
gave that
won.
money to
Yeah, but look what happened when
Brown.
he came back.
What do you mean?
Who, Le'Veon?
Yeah,
Well, he missed
He
a
still
year.
did really good.
he did.
He missed another year, and then he went into the Jets, which was not an
That's
ideal
just-
situation
that's
at
just
all.
the
Not
Jets.
a good
They'll kill
line.
anyone.
I can't. And I think after that, it was lost.
I mean, I would say, yeah.
Where did he even go? After
Honestly,
that?
when you sit out of football for a year, I think that kills it, which is why I think paying Deshaun Watson all that money was so, like, I just think that's crazy because it's like he was out of football for a whole year.
Well, wasn't Barkley out of football for a whole year, and then he came back and had like his best year? If I'm not mistaken.
I think this year is
Well,
He got hurt again.
for Watson. This is the year to tell. Like this is
Okay, so
if
he
he
would-
doesn't do it this year, then. But
then,
this is
then
the,
they're in debt forever.
right. They're screwed.
That-
but this is
Why does he care? It's
Yeah.
all guaranteed.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Which is why the Ravens don't want to do that.
So
like,
here-
I can't blame them.
Kelly found it. 3-year, 133 guaranteed.
to
That's a lot,
Odell.
Lamar.
of money.
Lamar.
That's NBA
Lamar.
numbers.
133 million guaranteed, 3 years.
Hmm.
That's a lot of money. That is.
That's a big not even the money.
How
That's a
much
big
does he want?
salary cap hit.
What's Deshaun getting? 250 guaranteed.
Yeah, what I thought it for some reason I have a 265 million.
It might be
in
that.
my mind, and
It-
that's what I don't know if that's what he's asking.
Oh, that's what Lamar's asking.
Yeah,
It
or
could
if
be.
that's what Watson's
could-
getting.
He keep asking. I'd hope they just give it to him because then good luck having the rest of your team. He wants 230
He wants
guaranteed.
230 guaranteed. Thanks, Kelly.
So
That's shut up.
he just wants $100 million more.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
Watson's contract, yeah?
Yeah, I think
You know, I think his issue he doesn't have an agent.
He doesn't.
Who's his agent? His uncle?
Him.
him.
Yeah, I
Like,
know his
people are
uncle
calling
helps him
him.
though, or whatever.
That was the thing, wasn't it? Like,
I think any agent would be like, like even them getting their money regardless, like, you're screwing up right now.
Yeah. Take
Because any
Take
agent
the
would say you're
check.
not going to get this anywhere else.
right.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley actually is outperforming Le'Veon Bell in his first 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
On which metric?
That's what I'm saying. They should keep him.
Games
Just-
played, yards per carry. Just
What about
rushing
catches
stats.
though?
Rushing
I was
stats.
gonna
And
say
that-
Bell was big
Le'Veon
on
Bell was
the
basically a
receiving.
receiver as
Yeah,
well,
he was.
and he was phenomenal.
I think
at
it was his yards from scrimmage. It was so phenomenal.
Yeah,
and that's what I think that's what the Steelers had an issue with because Le'Veon, he came out and said, "Pay me as your number 1 running back
Yeah.
and your number 2 receiver."
Well, I think
and they're like, "I don't
The
know
way
if we
he
could do
phrased
that."
it was like, I could be a starting running back on any team and a starting receiver
Yeah.
on any team, which I think
He
fair.
actually-
yeah,
Could
that's
have.
fair.
I think it is fair.
Minus the Jets, he couldn't do it with the Jets.
I don't know how many people
Nobody
can,
can.
man. Or at that time,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah.
No.
Saquon's rookie year, I mean, is just unreal. Yeah, 261 attempts,
Yeah, it's Penn State.
1,300 yards, 5 yards per carry, 91 receptions.
Jeez,
Um,
that's what a receiver gets in a year.
yeah, I mean, so
Well, that's 'cause
More than
No wonder
Deontay
why he
Johnson,
broke
for
himself shortly after, because he just wore his body to the ground.
yeah, I mean, so like the guy, but yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
He's good. I don't think anybody's
I still think
arguing
they're
that he's
stupid
good.
that they'd let him go.
It depends on the money, man. Because
I'm telling
pay
you, I would love for someone to set like some kind of alarm or something in a year from now. I would love to see like.
Oh, we'll be able to look back.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll look back.
Because I think a year or 2 years, like I'm telling you, those second contracts, they
They
just
get to you.
they very rarely live up to those.
Yeah,
Very rarely.
You have a point of that on that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
I
if
guess
a
it
team
depends
wants
on
to pick him up, then a team wants to pick him
depends
up.
on how much he wants, I guess.
Yeah, because in a way, that second contract, you're older. Like obviously, as a running back, you're not getting any better as you get older.
Well,
Like, right? So you're basically paying that running back for what he just did,
that's every player.
hoping. Yeah, but running backs like that, they don't hold up because of that. Like that's ridiculous amount of
It's
touches.
just wild though, because before they did, how many?
Like same thing with Zeke. Zeke had 4 years of over 300 attempts, and then
Wow.
77 receptions his third year in, 50 receptions his fourth year in, fifth year in, 50 receptions on top of 300 attempts, and then boom, gets paid, and then falls off the table.
Just lost his hunger or
well,
something.
he's one of the ones that happened to. The other ones were
Got full.
we don't know
money.
if the other ones are. That's I can't sit here and say that to every running back's gonna. They get a contract and then they fall off, but. You're talking old boy for Hunt.
Oh,
He
yeah.
went to the Browns and he's definitely.
Well, didn't he ruin his career?
He got DUI.
No,
He
it
was,
was
like, beating a
domestic
woman.
violence.
Well, it was he left
Who we
the
talking about?
Chiefs.
Kareem
Kareem
Hunt.
Hunt.
Oh,
But even with he's been in the
Yeah,
league
cleared
for a
though.
minute now. But even with the Browns, he clearly is a starting running back. Like he could be a starting running back for almost any team.
yeah, but
Uh,
he's not carrying. He's
I don't agree with that.
Currently a free agent.
You don't think so?
No.
What about whenever
He
Chubb
looks-
was out? He was killing it.
yeah, but
don't
he
know
Chubb
about
was out for
killing
4 or
it,
5
but-
weeks.
yeah, but he looks fresh because
Yeah,
of Chubb.
he's-
Yeah,
Chubb
you
takes
got
all the hits.
Chubb just slaughtering people. And then,
But you're talking, then you could say that about Chubb too, because most games are
'Cause
not
even
so much
last-
splitting
even-
carries, but Chubb has a much lower workload because of that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a really good one.
It's a good
punch.
system.
having a 1-2, I mean, can keep a running back like. I mean, you could make the argument if you're going to pay a running back a second contract, you would give that to Nick Chubb because he's been able to have carries taken off his legs because of a guy like Hunt.
I suppose in
Yeah.
that mindset, yeah.
But
So-
Barkley, I mean, the guy's been hurt. So
That's
it's
why I
like
just-
I think
you
physically,
already know paying him that he's already been hurt his first 5 years.
right? Exactly,
A bunch.
Yeah, and
So while he is on the field, he's phenomenal, but he's going to get hurt again. It's a foregone conclusion.
and his wasn't wear and tear.
No.
because it
No.
happened early on. It happened
Yeah.
several
he busted his
times.
ankle, so that's going to go again likely, or it's going to break down faster.
Right.
He had it in college too.
And it happened early on. It wasn't later in his career or anything like that. So it is you're not durable.
So first round running backs, our boy Najee. What do you see the Steelers do? Do you think just based off of what we've done in the past with players, do you think there's a chance that when it comes time he gets because
Has he lived up to your guys' expectations?
For me, yes.
Mine, absolutely.
He has. Stat-wise, no, but he hasn't had the offensive line.
I mean, he still broke 1,000 yards.
His first year, we used him like a workhorse, which worries me. Like to what you said, I think he was one of the. Did he lead the league in touches?
Yeah.
Led the league in touches.
And he hurt his foot.
And then he hurt his foot last year, obviously. And the line was even, I'm going to say it, the line was almost worse or just as bad last year as it was his rookie year. And then the play schemes were even worse.
Yeah, yes. I mean, there's no.
So his stats were going to go down. There was no play action.
Most games.
And they took away play action.
Yep.
It was running
I think
very few times.
His third year's coming up, and it's all going to depend on this year.
I think it depends on how they use him, though. Because anyone could sit back and be like, well, look, anyone who doesn't watch Steelers games, because I get that all the time from the comments from the podcast, this and that. And I'm like, it's one thing to be a fantasy owner and just see our top players, that are doing certain things. And then, they suck because of their stats. But like, whenever we sit here, watch every single game and we see the situations like, they're not running the ball. Or we saw the line just come in. You've seen it. I think any player's seen, like, the stats don't always resemble what actually happened in the game. Last year, I don't think that his stats resembled his capabilities.
Especially the last couple games, he was running.
They ran it more
hard,
and they ran it more against the Ravens when they challenged them. A team great against the run, and they challenged them.
He was running people
and
over.
He did. I think
he was
he
running
still
angry.
Has it. So a part of me's worried that we're going to overuse him.
Well, you guys have him for a couple more. It's only been 2 years. So.
Right, but I'm still at that point. Do you re-sign him? And I'm worried we overused him. But on the second note of that, I think back to Jerome Bettis.
Guys had 579 touches in 2 seasons.
Mostly in the first.
Yeah, a lot of that was
no.
Really?
307 in the first, 272 in the second.
I mean,
so that's
a lot.
That's really not much of a difference.
Well, I think this year is going to help him with Warren being in the back. I think they're going to try and do that one-two punch.
I think that one-two punch is good. That guy's flashy.
Zeke and Pollard did
fastball.
Yeah.
He's got a great fastball.
Warren's just a bowling ball, just straight down, and he will not run out of bounds.
That will help.
Yeah.
That will help a lot.
He was a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So him to come in and play for Pittsburgh last year was...
That helps the salary.
Yeah, but just to learn the offense, the players, the coaches, how the plays go, he's going to just develop more this year, and it's going to help in play calling, for one, and keeping him in compared to keeping Najee in every single play.
Right.
They'll have the flexibility to put him in on first down, second down, maybe third down, and do a drive with him instead of let's do every down and put Warren in for one to let Najee catch his breath and then.
I mean, the big thing when it comes to having 2 running backs that you can use that are great at running is which one can block well. Mm-hmm. That's one of the biggest things about with the Cowboys using Zeke was the fact
we've seen Zeke block.
Pollard is so bad. He is so
play.
well.
Pollard's worse.
I know that was just a silly play.
They hung out Zeke to dry.
Yeah.
That was bad. But I mean, so if you can get I think in the last 10, 15 years, it's been proven if you can get 2 tight ends and 2 running backs, I mean, because you're going to have them on your team anyway, as you got to have backups. So if you can find productive players that are
49ers.
Athletes.
49ers have been doing it.
You're gonna, I mean, it's just the teams that have been able to find those second skill position players, they are nice pour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should have put the mic towards that right there.
I bet it didn't even pick it up.
It 100% did, but it's
See,
okay.
I feel like we're getting
ASMR.
graded right now. I see Kelly writing,
she is.
and
She's
then
taking
I
notes.
know it is killing me.
Doug
right
pours. No, that's good though. But
It's real.
The Eagles. Eagles are another perfect example of like they're literally let Miles Sanders walk because
Yeah.
they have 18 other running backs that they feel comfortable with.
And
Just
just quarterback
swap,
that runs.
swap.
And then they'll probably draft one.
Yep, they're still gonna
You know,
draft one.
And it's you find one and you get them under a contract, and then you get a running back in the third to the fifth round, and you get them on a 3-year deal instead of a 5-year deal. You save yourself some money. That's if they're good. That's when you pay them a second contract, and then they play that out, and then you haven't worn them out so much, and then they've actually then you keep them around for 6-7 years as opposed to what do we have? Zeke for 8, and we're going to pay him for 10 dead money.
Damn.
Yep.
Do you think it's do you ever think it's a change in the player? Because
Yes.
When they get paid?
Yes.
no, not about the
I was
paying.
gonna say,
I mean
yes.
about in the years, like this generation. Because you got to think, Steelers wise, Jerome Bettis. How many years did he play?
I don't
And I don't think any of you can sit here and tell me we didn't run him ragged.
Oh yeah, he can't
The-
even hardly
the-
get out of bed.
the years
every
of-
day. It hurts.
Jerome and Emmett and that style, that's to me, in my opinion, that's gone. I don't think you're going to see another 18-year running back.
I get it, but at the same time, the player those guys were taking more wear and tear.
They
And
were.
who's the
And they
oldest running back
lasted.
playing right now? Kelly, could you look that up? Who the oldest
Is
running
old
back
Frank Gore still
starting is?
playing?
No.
13
Dang,
years for
13
Jerome.
And then I think Emmett played for 18.
Emmett played for like
He was the freak though.
300
He was the one I want to say starting running back. He may have been of the Super Bowl era, maybe the longest.
Yeah, I mean he
Right.
and he stayed relatively healthy.
Right. Even when he went to the Cards, it was, but he was still a starting running back.
Yeah, he was. I think he was just collecting a check at that point.
I think at that point, because I think that's when he broke the record, right?
No, he broke with the Cowboys.
Did he? I don't
don't
know
even
what
know
he was
who
trying
that
to
is.
Broke it
achieve.
with the Cowboys against the Seahawks.
I don't know what he was trying to achieve at that point when he
I
went.
think he was just collecting a check, man.
You don't think he was rich?
Thank you.
I think he just didn't want to stop. I just think.
Yeah,
he was
no,
just-
I'll take that. I don't know about a check unless he was really bad with finances.
I mean,
He could have been.
well, that's what I mean. Like, I just don't think he wanted to stop. I think he just was just sitting there collecting,
Yeah,
writing his check.
maybe he didn't know how to not play football or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that you're talking. Jerome Bettis did it. I mean, for years, and he was getting beat up. And
but
he
yeah,
just kept
you mentioned
going.
Frank Gore. Frank Gore played for a
Frank
number of
Gore
years.
was the last one. He played so long.
Yeah.
Gore the
Jets.
dinosaur.
You know who played a long time was LaShawn McCoy.
He did, yeah. He did it smart.
Did
he
he-
kind of just bounced around.
He
Shady.
did.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk
And
about
he is shady. That guy has undercut every coach. I feel like he's.
Yeah.
Franco Harris. I heard a lot of things in documentaries and stuff talk about he got a lot of trash for the way he played. Like he did, especially in the 70s. You go and you take the hit.
Yeah.
He would
Oh, yeah, he
always
was, yeah.
instead of getting 2 extra yards, he would just step out of bounds.
Business decision. Yeah.
And he said that he said this. He's like, why am I going to get 2 extra yards for a hit? And he said that extended his career because he played a good amount of time too. Just not playing smart and everything. But in the 70s, that was not nearly as popular.
Yeah.
Nowadays, he'd fit right in.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, those guys to me, they're you're gonna find it's gonna be a lot more Christian McCaffrey type running backs coming up now, where they're gonna be around for 8 years. Though I don't know that the rushing record will ever get broken.
It won't. Unless
No, I don't see that.
Oh.
the only way I see it changing is because you know how
Oh, the rushing, like the
The all-time
All-time
rushing record.
rushing
I don't
record,
think
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have a running back
well,
that will be able to build that kind of
there
longevity.
might be a little asterisk mark next to it. What
I
are
can
those
see
called?
an asterisk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think
because there's going to be like 21
you know how
games
they-
in a season sometime,
Yeah, right.
and I don't know if it'll still
and
get
it'll
broken.
still be like
'cause
3
they're still gonna
years,
get
and that's
hurt.
it, and then they'll
I think
be
the
done.
game's going to start going in waves because it's a younger league, honestly. And I think it's because us growing up, if you didn't have a running team, you were going nowhere.
Yep.
Like nowhere at all. And and now it's obviously 100% pass, 100% pass. I want to say, but the thing that I think is going to change it, the linebackers have changed. Defensive linemen a little bit, but not as much. But the linebackers, you're talking. Let's say, for example, James Harrison was huge. He was just a run-stopping, pass-blitzing guy. He wasn't fast.
Nope.
He wasn't agile. We saw it on the interception. He was not.
Yeah.
But then it started, and I would say when it happened, the first one that I really saw that change was P. Willis.
That guy was look good.
Yeah.
I want to say he was the first one. He ran a 4.3, 4.4, something like that. He's a linebacker. It was unheard of. He was super agile, super athletic, and everybody's like, "Is a middle linebacker? That's absurd."
Yep.
You want the run stopping. They're not supposed to be defending passes. They're supposed to drop in the zone if need be. But then he started changing it, and then you saw for us, and then Shazier came out, which to me was just a younger looking P.
Yeah.
Willis. He ran a 4.3. He was.
Super
And the league
quick.
started changing these smaller linebackers to defend the pass because that's what they're doing. But now I'm kind of see like now
Well,
all the
I think even before Willis, you had Urlacher.
what? Come on,
Urlacher was a safety in college, and they moved him down to.
He was actually
but he
faster.
played
than,
like a
yeah.
middle
He was-
linebacker. I think he was just made one of those freaks.
He was a freak. Yeah, but he was fast.
Right, but he was still
Jerome
like
Bettis
I think
ran
he
him
was
over.
run stop first, and then I saw Jerome Bettis run him the f over.
Yeah, there you
that
go.
was dope to go to our playoff. But I think the offense now all the linebackers are small, right? The majority of them because they're fast. They're bigger, strong safeties essentially because
Right.
they have to defend
Yeah.
the pass game. Why wouldn't the offensive start like going into like, hey, how can we counteract this? Let's start running the football. They can't stop the run anymore, and I think it could start to a churn, and then however many years it might turn into that run game again because that's what they don't have to stop the run is those linebackers. And it's a weird take, but that's just
Yeah.
how I kind of see it in my head. It might go
can
back
see
to
it.
the run just because how the defense is set up.
Yeah. Yeah, because defenses are built to catch people with running quarterbacks now
Right.
that go out into the flats, and they're meant to chase those guys down instead of just
Right.
staying in the middle and waiting to.
Like
hit
I don't
that
I don't
guy.
care about a Jalen Ramsey in his prime if I'm running the football. Like, okay.
That's true.
Before it was run, and then play action.
Speaking of linebackers,
Go on.
do you guys want to sign Devin White? Because
Yes, of
I'm
course.
dying to sign Devin White.
Do you think
And
it'll
I'm praying
happen?
that we're gonna
But
get
do you
him,
think you're
but
being
it won't.
logical?
No, it's not gonna happen. I'm dreaming and
Okay.
praying, and
As long as you said that, I'm good.
but you never know because we got Minka, and
Is Devin
That
White
was
like best
a
friends
rare-
with Keanu Neal?
Way
Because that
different
could help us.
situation. That was a way different situation.
yeah, we were in dire need.
He was in his
We're
rookie
in dire
year.
need of.
Yeah, but
Minka was
linebacker.
not in his rookie year.
No,
Is
it
it
was
his
his second.
year? He was
Was
in
he in his
we-
second?
Second.
He just signed his second contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
Devin
was
White's
young.
still young too.
The Dolphins knew that Minka was good. They didn't know what they had
Nope.
because for what a second round pick.
Yeah, we scored on that one.
He's
But
worth.
why don't we throw a second round pick?
Minka right now is
for Devin
considered
White?
the best free safety in
We
the
got
league.
two.
Everything that comes out, he's the best free safety in the league. That's not a second round pick. The best free safety in the league. That's a first rounder with something on the end.
Yeah, and we could possibly get something like that with Devin White.
Yeah, we could, but the thing is, I right after you freaks texted and lost your mind, you didn't. Congratulations, you're very.
Well, he's not
calm,
a-
cool.
He doesn't need a
Yeah, he's
linebacker.
not- yeah.
He's got Parsons.
Well,
and
no, but the thing
Vander
is,
Esch
the
or
Bucks
whatever
released
his
the
name is.
statement saying we have no interest in trading him.
Oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any movement.
Yeah,
on
they
that.
said no. Like they
I
would.
think it's going to be one of those things where they're like, where the player is, I want to be traded, and the organization's like,
We'll give you a raise.
like a
Seems
Kobe
like
Bryant
cool.
type thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
When he's like, I want to be traded. And they're like, oh,
that
okay.
does- Disappoints me.
they've
Stop
lost
it.
so much. I don't know. I don't think they're going to lose him.
No,
Well, I'm gonna keep praying about
I
it.
think they would. I think
We
they
can
would.
dream.
Can dream.
I think they would for
We
sure.
can dream.
and I encourage dreams.
They would
Yeah.
if some team was all like, we'll give you 2 first rounders.
That's no.
Exactly. They're going to be like, oh, everyone wants you. We don't have to trade you. You're going to play. Some team
What's
has
crazy
to.
is they probably got more calls for him than the Ravens have gotten for Lamar.
Lamar, yeah,
Yeah, probably.
because he's better.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like unison.
He's a more valuable
Was it?
player.
Yeah, you guys almost had that.
He's a more valuable player for sure.
I don't know. He's just the perfect puzzle piece that we're missing in the middle.
We've picked up too many. Think about how many things we picked up in free agency, what they're trying to do.
Get rid of those
No.
players and pick up.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No,
How
that's
does that work? If they
we-
pick them up in free agency, they sign them right then, right? Yeah, they
Yeah.
sign them. So that's
Yeah,
not like
if
they
you
can just
sign
shoo 'em
somebody in
away.
free
You're going to
agency-
take a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we did pick up linebackers. We got a couple good ones. The guy from Washington, the guy from Miami,
Right.
and I'm probably just overlooking them and I'm looking at the name.
No,
Right.
he's
Yeah,
It's
no,
Devin
he's-
White, and so that's
he's
why I'm like,
great.
oh,
but
man,
I'm
that'd be
saying
sweet,
if you
but-
pick up these guys like they already did, and they signed them on free agent deals, they're like, all right, you're signed.
yeah,
Like, let's say one's 10 mil or something, and then they're like, hey, White just came out, and we're not interested. You're going
Oh.
to take $1 million, $2 million hit just for cutting him, and he never even played a game because you signed him already. And
Yeah.
I want a rule book on how free agency works and the rules, and you know
It's
what
on
I
the
mean?
web,
Because
I'm sure.
Zeke, when
Yeah.
Zeke got cut, right, they took a hit on that dead money.
Yeah, so they got money on the books for the next 2 years on Zeke.
You see what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
weird. The Raiders, they took a hit for Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, you know, the rules of like how much it is. If they're,
It depends on how much guaranteed.
I don't even think it goes off a guaranteed, because if it's guaranteed, they have to pay them and then they can leave.
Yeah, so it's the guaranteed money. So it's the money that the player is actually going to receive
For
If
the
it's not-
following
If
year.
it's not guaranteed, my understanding is if it's not guaranteed, then that automatically comes off the books because that won't get paid. So the reason why Zeke got cut when he got cut was because if he got cut after the date, and I don't remember the date that it was, but they would have had to pay him for this year.
So was it a good move in the Raiders getting rid of Carr? Let's say he was, I don't even going to say like horrible, this and that. Like I know they took a big hit on him because his contract was so big and everything, and the guaranteed and everything. Was it worth, let's say Jimmy Garoppolo was a little bit better, right? Let's say, I don't think he is, but let's say he did. Was it worth the hit you could have had other players, this and that? Do you agree?
I don't agree with anything that the Raiders are doing for keeping it a buck.
Like starting with Carr, do you think you agree with that?
I don't agree with the fact that they hired that head coach to begin
Well,
with.
sure.
I don't agree with what they did with Carr. Yeah, I don't.
I don't-
But I mean, they're yeah. Them getting rid of
We're on
Carr
the same page with
and benching him and causing all of the drama that they caused with that
They didn't
scenario,
have to.
and doing that and creating that scene just to go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo. Like I think I'm high on Jimmy Garoppolo more so than others, but he's not that much better, if at all, better than Carr. I think he doesn't turn the ball over as much, but just to go out and get Garoppolo, like I feel like if they
did
would
it
have
and
gone
got
out and
Rodgers,
got Rodgers,
yeah.
I'm all in on that.
Then yeah,
Well, and
But they didn't.
The thing they benched him for the last two games,
Not
I
yet.
could see them benching him for the last two games if the guy you're benching him for, like say Packers benched.
Well, they benched him because of money.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, because if you got hurt,
If he got hurt, then they would
Guaranteed.
I
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that, but I can understand it if that guy you were benching him for is going to be the quarterback the next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think they made any money.
Well, no, they benched him because if he got hurt, they would have had to have paid him a bunch of guaranteed money that
Sure.
otherwise they didn't have to pay him now.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
I hope he balls
I
out.
think he comes
I
out.
hope he does too. Just
He
to
now
prove
gets to
everyone.
can
throw
in that
to-
division.
I mean, he gets to throw to Chris Olave, probably Michael Thomas if that situation gets ironed out.
yeah, they'll probably draft another wide receiver.
I think he's a
Alvin Kamara still.
right.
Get Olave's homie.
He's
I
definitely.
don't know his name though.
I think Jimmy G has always been in a better situation
see.
than Carr.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I.
Yeah.
Jimmy
I
G,
hope- I
Jimmy
hope-
Way
G-
better coaching.
Jimmy G has been handed the keys to so many Ferraris. It's unreal.
It's insane.
Literally.
I think that I want Derek Carr to ball out, not for Derek Carr, but to rub it in the Raiders' face.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, it wasn't him, it was you.
Yeah. I mean,
Because he proved what he could do there several times, what he could do there, but he wasn't like, oh, you're doing good. New head coach.
It's
new offensive
yeah.
coordinator.
It's pronounced Patriots now. The Las Vegas Patriots. That's what
I think they only have like 3 players.
Uh,
for the
they have-
Patriots.
3 players and like 4 coaches.
yeah, it is a lot.
they've made a lot of
They have a
trades.
whole lot of New England.
I thought whenever they went to Vegas, they were going to have a lot of, you know,
But yeah, when you make a trade or like when you sign someone from free agency, you just have that one contract. But when you make a trade, when you trade away a player, and they have multiple years left on the contract, if you don't work it into the trade, that's when you run the risk of having dead money on your books.
I know you can pay the other team too for part of their contract. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we'll pick up.
or if
certain
you just
percent.
straight cut a player. So
Yeah. You talked about it earlier. Everyone that listens to this, we've been getting a bunch of texts individually throughout all 4 of us about the thoughts and everything on the podcast. Put it in the comments on YouTube.
Please.
That would help way more.
We'll
you know what I
communicate
mean?
back.
Yeah,
We
we'll
will.
talk. We'll talk to you
Instagram,
indirectly, Facebook,
YouTube,
Say
we'll hit
whatever
back
you
at
want to
ya.
say for sure. Yeah,
That's a good point,
we
Doug.
want to hear your thoughts.
we do. We
Please.
really do. What you
We're
don't
sharing
like,
ours.
what you do like, whatever it is, we're trying to make it and like everyone to enjoy it. You know. But other than that, I think until next time,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
We'll wrap it up for today.
Until next week. We appreciate you, Steeler Nation. Keep liking YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. We really appreciate all your support. We love it. Here, Jeremy, DJ, me, and Steven, keep on watching. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Until
guys.
next
Happy
week.
412 day.
See ya.